ana kwasi broni hyehyeye e wo de krom enti a Freemason ene we se somwe mu ni nyinara ahyase firi hen no broni timpo a wo de sa nyema we nyinara e ba no de ato abibima mu no ene sen we entram so hwe Wake Up Africa kwasi aye coordinator edema freedom mind movement no
ebeka me Michael Asma ho
na yesim konya na madi dwuma de wo chiame na ensem bi atise no de gina twekronkron so abakosem ene ntwere ahodo so na de mo hu ba bi a obibini ufiri enu mu a eduro ene soma wo sombo na mabrofo sisi ache Africa dwuma die so praso say ye fa dwuma die live on Royal TV so kwasi da we ni kwasi da bia awia dumienu kopim no mienu na ya de wo so adwenche na osemisa yeye ano e de ma Wake Up Africa abibi mai mo ma yen sore.
Oh la la minua adentina assassin samo aya wo dadwere jiwa subo na me mo nchiremu sawo pesa se esidan ana filling station me kamfo KY real estate about KY real estate in Sasano manso samu bia ne ho na langa de samia zeno oh KY real estate one sase wo mia bit sa Apollonia Akrama Ensumia Dobro Ahiabu Dowenya Chopoli Dawa Katamanso Sege and Central University Awa Afrao Quantum Ponoso. Esansa KY real estate in Sasa who needs and someone to know 1 hour the kind to ton Sasino FTSC 1 year she and see now one so what can it KY real estate chair quite walk bomb barrier any ashaman so KY real estate was Lebanon and the old police station at the Shenimu. Opening power that KY real estate and only na odia hinkan yabua. Freno, one more true voice 0203 936 446 and 0543 995 919. KY real estate what's about Joe what sassy so
Sibroni wa matia sai Okroto wa matia sai Amuna oba ye krumse oba betray yamesu Eche no toni ba eche no dia sase akwanu me akwanu mana dia samu akwanu me akwanu mana dia samu akwanu me akwanu mana dia samu akwanu me akwanu mana
Awusame makwaba ba Jumedia ye friend Wake Up Africa sana mene wo edi kwesiri bia yinya dagire edi nkomo esua de ekwa ekire no ene so obo ade ebie kwan sen ne mene wo esua de na ekwa ekire obiso a wo hwe Royal Television ene ye kwesi ade ene so ye the 19th of November year 2023 a ewom abusia na wo twetwe mu no yedi nkomo bebre efa nyamwa ekoso wiase in terms of class swab and the right hand man omudi juma United Nations for support omode momo and ensamo aba enchini die emfaso ewo ho ene bone a ebata ho chemical omode afra na wotwetwem ye dini nyina ho nkomo sene be ya obetumi enya ntiase afa nyama bebre ho ofa ya poku dankwa enso ema ye hwe kasamfoni etumi bua eme hu se the wiase ne ekono ese nipa da se bibia eho edon ho so anase wo hwe ho si yi sene be ya enkofu dwumedi ya omode be wiase yenkotom na yenkofa ensemu emba ene de be kono sene tie bia no enye de enne the last episode fa dwumedi a ede hyase a yebedi the 19th episode no ene eni twatu a yebedi hu komo na afi de wo bia no ene benya dagire na watena fom na wotimi etie de eba isan say almost say all the last minute bia no dangerous adie bia Ghana hase ni nyina say adie bia last bia wo episode mu bia no very dangerous you need the empenifo no e de brain so nanso sene kasa ekono you said last minute are dangerous abuso nguso a wo hwe Wake Up Africa sene tie no ebodum yenu bia no a dwedi ye so na ekopum no mienu na ewie frɛ bi a ɔno so ɔpɛ sɛ hu no korɛ na yɛmfa no korɛ mmerɛ wo sɛne bɛyɛ a wobɛtumi wo so wahwɛ wo ho yie na biribi ɛnkɔtoo na mpo sɛ ɛba mpo a ɛsiane sɛ fotuo no a wotie anaasɛ program wei a wohwɛeɛ no wonim baabi a ɔbɔnefoɔ no nhyehyɛeɛ no baabi a wode firi ɛreba sɛne bɛyɛ a wobɛtumi atwe ho afiri ho na ɛnkɔfa yɛnɛ bi anaasɛ amanneɛ mmerɛ wo wobɛtumi aka dwumadeɛ yi ho ɛwɔ social media handle ɛyɛ wake up africa gh ɛwɔ youtube saa so na wake up africa gh ɛwɔ facebook wobɛtumi aka yɛ ho na wotumi streaming in live abempo a woni fie a wotu tv ho no wofa yɛ social media handle links na media ma wo no a wobɛtumi streaming in live na wotumi ahwɛ dwumadie no sɛnea wopɛ no saa so na yɛbɔ repeat ma wo ɛyɛ saturday ɛbɔ 2 o'clock anaasɛ mmienu pɛpɛpɛ na repeat no ahyɛ aseɛ wobɛtumi ahwɛ bi na wode ahwɛ deɛ ɛnɛ ɛbɛkɔ so no dwumadi wobɛtumi aka ho bi abra bɛtumi ayusu yɛ hotline a yɛde receive text message ɛne whatsapp message ɛyɛ 0504643052 0504643052 abusua na wɔtwe atwa mu no yɛdi nkɔmmɔ sɛ yɛwɔ branches bebree ɛwɔ Ghana ha bɛbɛbɔ obi so ɛma bebree na so finding very difficult to know sɛ meka sɛ bɛkwae a ɔmo nim baabi a bɛkwae no ɛkyerɛ bɛkwae no ɛyɛ sehwi bɛkwae ɛyɛ sehwi bɛkwae ɛna yɛka ho asɛm na sehwi bɛkwae no deɛ ɔda no ɛyɛ nkwahia ano na wobɛtumi afrɛ no na deɛ ɔwɔ bia no nkɔmmɔ bia wobɛtumi no nadi ɛyɛ 0243734847 saa so na ɛyɛ sehwi asawe no so ɛno so yɛwɔ branch no bi ɛwɔ hɔ na asawe no so no deɛ ɔda no no ɛyɛ benito ɔno ɛna ɛda no wobɛtumi afrɛ no 059420575 wofrɛ no a deɛ ɔwɔ biara no nkɔmmɔ bi a ɛfa ho biara no ɔno ɛbɛdi na biribia akɔ so pɛpɛpɛ saa so woba kasoa so a yɛwɔ branch ɛwɔ kasoa ɛyɛ brother edico ɛna ɛda no wobɛtumi afrɛ no 0244888910 wofrɛ no a nkɔmmɔ bi a ɛwɔ biara no wobɛtumi no adi na biribia akɔ so pɛpɛpɛ ɛkɔ takwa so yɛwɔ branch ɛwɔ deɛ ɔda no ɛyɛ dada ɔno ɛna da ano na wobɛtumi afrɛ no 0244 another 446141 wofrɛ no a deɛ ɛwɔ biara no nkɔmmɔ bi a ɛwɔ biara no wobɛdi wokɔ Kumase so a ɛyɛ brother Wuli ɛna da no yɛfɛ no Williams ɔno ɛna da no ɛwɔ hɔ nti Kumase no ebi a o Kumase wopɛ sɛ wokɔ class anaasɛ wopɛ sɛ wojoin Kumase branch na 0205314000 wofrɛ no a deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ bia no ɔno obɛdi saa so wokɔ Ɔboase so a Ɔboase so yɛwɔ brother Dominic ɛwɔ hɔ wobɛtumi afrɛ no 0242543893 abusua wɔbɛbɔ ebi aka ho ɛbrɛ ɛbɛ mu a bɛde nka ne nyinaa ɛbɛsɔɔ so sɛne dwumadi no teɛ no yɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ ebi kɔsi ade a na aha no ɛna obiara ɛhwɛ aha ɛna obiara ɛtie nkɔmmɔ ɛsiane sɛ ebi kɔsi ade a na Wake Up Africa dwumadi a ɛyi ma wo ɛwɔ Royal Television no agye hin ɛwɔ man biara mu mpanimfoɔ titire ɛkukudam ɛna ɛhwɛ program no enti sɛ ɛbɛbɛ mu na sɛ ebi part a segment call no bɛbɛ mu a wonya adagyeɛ na nso wotɔ mu a ɛyɛ na wonya abotrɛ na wabisa question bi a wopɛ sɛ wobisa ɛnyɛ atemdidie ɛnyɛ metin macau ɛyɛ nkɔmmɔdie ɛna ɛnyɛ ɛdi sɛ biribi na wonte aseɛ a bɛde nɔma bi bɛto dwa na wotumi afrɛ no akyire na wone no adi nkɔmmɔ ɛbusua na wotwetwee mu no so bebree no abisa sɛ book a Israel nkroma ɛsɛ obiara mpɛ bi ntɔ no hefa no wobɛnya bi wobɛtumi anya bi wɔ ɛyɛ yɛn branches ɛwɔ Accra anaasɛ yɛn branches a mpanifoɔ ɛbɛma kwan sɛ yɛmfa nkɔ no na mmom sisi adeɛ branch baako pɛ ɛna book no ɛdi ɛhini wɔ hɔ ɛyɛ Accra branch na obi a ɔyɛ in charge of books no ɛyɛ brother Edico wobɛtumi afrɛ no 0244388910 wofrɛ no a ɛyɛ book no baabi a wɔ biara no ɛno asɛm no bɛdi nkɔmmɔ wobɛtumi ɛde asɛ no na osaka bi na wobɛtumi awidi nsɛm ɛwom nsɛm akɛseɛ ɛwom ɛnkyene a wobisa ho asɛm ɛmba a makɔwɔ vaccine a akyire ɔmoma wo menya akomayadeɛ wɔn ne na United Nations ɛde ma yɛn class swab ne dwumadi a ɛbɛkɔ so a ɔsɛ nipa bi a ɔbɛko atia no wo yɛbɛka wo asɛ no saa book no second year ɛbɛboa wo na wosa aka bi pɛpɛpɛ na wotumi akenkan sɛ bɛyɛ a dwumadi no ɛkɔ so no na ɔkan no na wode makye sɛ bɛyɛ a biribi bibia ebe koso pepepe abisia empenifo no aye crowd se be dwumadi ebe koso na me no yetime tie nkomo na ye di nkomo no and then episode 19 of the whole show and that's why the last minute empenifo say last days are dangerous say the last days are dangerous no questions bia ebe twem na wo twe mu eye ofa ya pokura nkwa ebe ya ndagire wa peke anase wa solicite na wotumi eyia no se ne ebre ese se kwa be nyama ebe hia biem se ebe kom deep na yetumi eyia no bebre so a Israel kroma so be take over se ne be ya bibia be koso ebe fo no se na meka no mai krado se ne enim no mede omodi na dwumedi no ye de ahyehye so ama na bibia koso pepepe enti yenche ho ma yenko ebe fo no na enfo mu ndedi na dwumedi no enhyase na before say be ko mo bidini Michael asma penina no bebrina no dinu ya sesano ofa poguna nkwa asesa dinu tisia no Michael no eyira fifi ena eji to betumi afrem fifi so a eje so ijo e makwa ba eje so apomu e me dey tell me bibi abako life is good yeah that's it say wase aba baba Mike ene do wasa aba Mike bi mu say ma so ba say o say ya say aba fifi yaba edwa school course so sina bebre na no me na me yakuboni am ntumi amba na so bibia course so fine news ametine say omame o school ya sa ba ha no and that's your last day the 19th episode and I yele to a edwumedie no so na wo twe mu no uma yehwe kasamfoni a etweguye efa clash wab omudwumedie a omo hihye amawiase ahokyere ne amane esan de omode ba ne de nipa ebesuru omo control the power asase so no o ma na wotwe room no ye huye se ne wiase no ekọ ebi mu bisa se aso sa class web ntumi fa ne nkɔhye tokuro bi mu na ya moamoa no se ne be ya bibia so betwa na so question we de mimi nko ma ntumi moa class web ti misi ma be bisa se kwan ye bi wo ha ebetumi amoa no ana na even say nipa ba ko no ai so ka obi nkebi ono nko agihu e wasase we so ye mpenifo bebre so wo wiase na so saa ni patitire a ye tini din clashwa bi eno sisi ama wiase nyina no ye bohu esama mo digital and intelligent way a mo yusu e dia konka wiase enti anda so ya ba no and the last episode sana wo kan so and the last episode of the whole thing na ye shase enti se ebre ama kwan sa no maso aye krado se no meti ti jai platform no ma ofa oh fifim das yo di ka wetsia ahefo nyina ya das so na o twetwe mu no ko tie playback no question dia ni ho sa ba ya ehia ba ko no dia wo kan se anti class wab ni ntimi no mia no ko na bi ne processor ya dia to akoyem o timi yini free wa process me beto aso akosa ni sitie no a enti enye ye yina free wonti eko eye eduma so le wuko achiri a ye gbo work fella din wo mo control wo mo de dada eso na mse ya institutionalizing into no eko so se ya o ma hihia to ho no enti saa na we nso e ba be na ba ko nso kan se rapture ewo hodia Argentina I don't consider them as because what I have myself I can't also be to akosro and we go went to young church or kwanya be faso akọ na nyewe kan say ebeba na mra no be okọ baba na enema na to awo ha ya okay enti no bisa ni so church o sa bi ni mu bi enti na share that your question dia okay and I know so we can the demonic spirits behind the sexual revolution in the world, you know. Oh, baby. Okay. Now, the health issues, implications are associated with LGBT lifestyle. And generally, we are okay. You can't say now, spirits are dear, Jonathan Khan, Bawa, every man the African Bible. It is a 19 episodes. Let's say, you see more. Yeah. Until the baby,
nti health issues no so ebi HIV AIDS ebi mental stress
okay
and ebi nso mental illness ankasa saa nneɛma yɛde nkasamfoni yɛma wɔtie afiri wɔn mu anu
okay
sɛnea ebedi adanseɛ na ayɛ ahyɛsodeɛ ɛde ama wo nti ɛno na yɛde ba abɛwie ne ɛyɛ health implications no AIDS ɛfiri aseɛ wɔ wiase no abrɛfo de theory bi baa almost from the African green monkey theory. And it's a narrative no concern. A concern former Belgian Congo, and DR Congo. Mobutu no Omunkeka Lumumba no Ediago han. And Bivini Ekonya contact with African green monkey. So koku no na wi yom so ono no koda edlemu so de do ni say bibini bi enya contact with African green monkey and cover is yare de bai
there's a bibini na de bai
na almost in Africa na eno dan China Haiti Haiti
yeah
Omo teacher phobia wo Belgian Congo omo sukunya contact
yeah
omo ko in Haiti no and a white homosexual males bizo eba Haiti o da ho mbe contract is
okay
can just say e dey call ti ya na wo ha o na kan say Africa any dey buy ya mkasa ewo mu 1980 eti ho na ma eti asese ya diagnose obi the nipa no white homosexual American homosexual
yeah
who so AIDS they say the yare na TSC homosexuals in America hey and they were saying now to be precise San Francisco e ho na ekoko bae na started spreading nti ko ba say after media omo America ewo Britain omo nyina ya alarm no mo started hey yare abane de ebi ko am de to no no say no gay plague because omo na eku omo anya omo na spread basanti obi ambo yes any say nyege dia na mi nya bi omo na nya ade so anya de nti ya be here pictures bi first picture no
okay obviously first picture I did a British newspaper headline on gay plague and gay virus and any picture edikanya ebehwe ti say aya crowd wa feto so na even kasem
and the media way almost 13 years every the other one can be newspapers no be there can say 20,000 infected and it is getting that's all
okay
Britain threatened by gay virus plague. Gays in fear. My doomed gay plague. I'll shoot my son if he had AIDS, says Vicar. Sanemi Enana Ajin newspaper in the 80s. Samson and Newsweek also reported August 8th edition.
Okay.
1983. Second picture.
The second picture here, Newsweek, August 8th, 1983. Gay America, sex, politics, and the impact of AIDS. It is an why I crab of fetus my
picture whereby nobody know partners.
Yeah.
And it is a 50 and a zone when you be. Into say, give one and you're music and the diaba.
Okay.
Third picture.
Okay.
The same music we are started by you.
Third picture also here, Newsweek, August 10th, 1987. The face of AIDS. The face of AIDS. And also say crowd wa feto so my na in Kasem.
Na one of the 24 pictures we of Nkofua AIDS Ekumo.
Okay.
They are of different ethnic backgrounds, different socio-economic backgrounds, and of different gender identities.
Okay.
Nti woman who many na no say yare no aka wo mama e do mo ko ensie do. Nti na 80s no de foreign media no en sama na kan nti South Africa me ko start ya. And you are then the first case if you are San Francisco. Timu. By the end of 1987, 41,000 people in America said, you know, more free. It's a year almost puso, you almost free. Now, within less than 10 years, with the country 1980, less than 10 years, after you American homosexuals adane ababi pi Africa. Ana idea assembly and aba music side by.
Okay, your picture torso and line. Newsweek December 27th 1999, January 3 and also 2000 the same a devastated continent.
Yariana of America a jumbo baby Africa. Ade the Baya is a devastated continent. After the AIDS now started in Africa and papa ama millions of orphans in Africa. After they now white homosexuals this is an African pandemic. And suddenly Africa no can be him. Now for the about pure. And the way say World Health Organization. Yes, smallpox vaccines. We have them vaccine. Now, when they buy Africa, I be try on volunteers. And this say no, they buy no vaccines. You are lacing with AIDS virus.
Oh, there's a vaccine. I'm gonna say in any AIDS,
there is smallpox. I don't country of any vaccine. And so the virus, the AIDS virus, yashim. And they better say on volunteers.
Okay.
And a pager. No. About London Times.
Okay.
Newspaper.
Okay.
Is in Africa.
Okay.
And then a devastated continent.
Your video, and picture torso and moon at the London Times, 11th May 1987. Smallpox vaccines triggered AIDS virus.
And smallpox vaccines triggered AIDS virus. London Times and Dubai. And you know the really Africa, what you say, the WHO Nashasi, and all try say, you are developing smallpox vaccines here. You ever try on volunteers? Sounds no meaning the only. I said the WHO, when Bill Gates and the Cochrane and this is one more day say a baby populated now Bill Gates can say you get me a using vaccine to depopulate the world there. I don't know so we have remember at the Isaba. Fast forward, the quite India. Not the same AC, a daddy and a Jehu into mini. Local daily guide, 4th December 2015. I can't kind of when they do the last episode. Almost the last days are dangerous. And no some I can. We daily guide 4th December 2015 by gay spreading HIV/AIDS from Vincent Kubi
that is Orifitama reports on the buy. Now, see, homosexuals are one of the major causes of the high prevalence HIV epidemic in the Greater Accra region. Rita, a 3-year technical coordination consultant at the Regional Coordinating Council, that is RCC, has stated.
In 1980, AIDS was breaking out in the midst of white homosexuals. A yi bebree fi asase so okoye ba ye ni de keka ho nyina ene be se adwen ye se homosexuals na nyom ho tototo a ene ni edi ago obi zo be ka se na say heterosexuals nso is ni bi tie but wo mu de no e more even say defined enam lifestyle no o mu de mu ko jomu enti na nwanwa say down ha also let me who say homosexuals women spread yari anything. And it's because a LGBT lifestyle nature it's in a decline. Now you have 5 videos. Most of us say a can about AIDS, a can about stress, and a can mental health. The beginning in area now we'll summarize it because we summarize it nobody quicker and shorter. Continuous. Okay. Just say the first video.
Yo, Abusia, I will share Wake Up Africa, Royal Television, and then the last episode of the whole show of what we started. The Senam Perifono Assassin, and the pictures are a toss with noon, and a toss with number, Kony, and Sunny, New Amount. The other kasamfuni and also say video ye ba behwe na ye de aka in someone opinion e kan nti se why crowd wa obetumi enya daje na hwe ni hie ewia ya ba no tofa ama the kan video na e behwe e kan or say why are gay men at risk of HIV/AIDS nti any video e kan na why crowd wa fatumai na ye.
The answer to this question is not about who you are, but it's more about a numbers game. Since the HIV epidemic started in the 1980s, gay men have been at a greater risk and represented more of new HIV cases that we've known in this country and actually internationally as well. In this day and time, gay men still make up about 2/3 of the new HIV diagnosis. So whether you like it or not, just because you're having sex with other men, you are going to put yourself in a pool where you're having a greater chance of getting in contact with HIV. The other part of that is that when you do have sex, anal sex in particular, without a condom, it's going to be more at risk for HIV. So again, the point I would want to make, it's not because of who you are. It's not just because you're gay. It's because we live in a high HIV prevalent society among gay men, and then also because some of the behaviors that we engage in may put us more at risk for HIV.
Gay men have been a part of this epidemic since the beginning. There are now 1.1 million people living with HIV in the United States. More than half of those are gay or bisexual men.
Gay men overall are 40 times more likely to get HIV compared to the general population.
In part because there are so many people living with HIV in our community.
In a study of major U.S. cities, they found that 1 in 5 gay men were HIV positive.
And 1 out of every 3 of those doesn't know that he has the virus. So that means that everyone who is gay or bisexual man in those cities is likely to know somebody with HIV and likely to date somebody with HIV. The presence of HIV in our community makes it a part of everybody's life.
When you take a look at some of the race-specific differences, we're dealing with an incredible crisis among black gay men, where HIV really has become a rite of passage for many of these men into adulthood. There are about 1 in 6 Latino gay men who were HIV positive, and for black gay men, unfortunately, it was 1 in 3 who are HIV positive. The really frustrating thing is that people take a look at these infection rates among black gay men and say that black gay men are not being responsible for their own health. And what you find is that black gay men are more likely to get tested for HIV. They engage in less unprotected sex compared to white gay men, and engage in less drug use overall. However, the reason that we're seeing a greater number of new infections is because simply there's so many black gay men who are living with HIV in the United States. And of those black gay men who are living with HIV, there's a higher proportion who don't know that they're HIV positive.
People have this myth in their minds that HIV isn't the problem that it used to be.
People just believe that it's no longer there. The only population where the number of new infections are actually increasing are among gay and bisexual men. And when you look deeper into those numbers, you find that that increase was driven by young gay men between the ages of 13 and 24, where there is a 22% increase in new infections.
It shouldn't have to be that HIV is a rite of passage for young gay men.
Quite frankly, HIV stigma hasn't changed that much in the United States from the very beginning of the epidemic until now. It can actually influence the degree to which somebody takes medications to prolong their life. It's something that's pervasive.
I think silence is one of our worst enemies. It feeds into a false sense of security that some people have, that if they don't talk about HIV, if they don't think about it, then it's not going to be a part of their lives. I still see people in the gay community that have misperceptions and unbased fears about this virus.
Abusha rasese onyabre na wetumi ahwe kasafoni a etoso baako ene mienu na meko fa na so bibi ka ansan yewie nyina na mabɔ no tofa ama sene be ya bibia be koso pepepe over
enti ene krampo na it's yen shedan kan ho asem senia 80s no ne 90s no ebaye but among homosexuals in Ghana, senior guide, daily guide, any videos you know, it shows still so was our lifestyle we more. We are also that's why I say a war with viral drugs and one year, you know, be do it and overcome it over. Any dancer because of a summary. Yeah. Any dancer LGBT lifestyle, stress, it won't be breathe. Mental health issues, it won't be breathe. I mean to know, I can't quite to say, hey, actually, it is your next video now, you can't when you say, can't be say. One more high risk, so we bring mental health issues. If you just say, "Abiano, now the tete, now the social, start to say a real dream." Couple say, "We bring a kukudu, Adam when you say, if you say, it's a movie of beer, meet with the aboamia, companion boami, and yes, idea, that is all them." Then, because I will bring the third video.
You third video, LGBT people and mental health issues. Some of our children, na area confirm sensitivity. Jaya crowd of na yeshe.
And today we're highlighting mental health within the LGBTQ plus community. Those who identify as LGBTQ plus are at higher risk for mental health issues than heterosexual people, more than twice as likely.
So joining us now, our family psychologist, Dr. Cheryl Ziegler. Always good to see you. So is this obvious because of the stress that is often put on LGBTQ families and people in LGBTQ communities?
Absolutely. It starts when they're young, right? There's a natural stage of confusion and then maybe realizing that, oh, I feel different than my peers. And then you keep that to yourself. That's the main part of this, is how much it's kept to themselves. And so there's a long process where you start to see things like stigma. You start to see things that maybe feel like, well, if I came out, this wouldn't feel supportive of me. What would happen? Would I be in danger? Would my family be in danger? Would they support me? So it's oftentimes many years of contemplating this. And so throughout that process, yes, they experience prejudice and discrimination, sometimes when they even try to do some things or try to, do something different. And so that reinforces that feeling of maybe this doesn't feel safe.
I would think, too, sometimes long-term, if you fake it because you're feeling like you don't feel safe to come out, that causes more problems sometimes long-term with your mental health.
Absolutely. I mean, what we know is that it's depression and anxiety that are highest in the LGBTQ plus community. And so a lot of that is really not being able to be your authentic self, and especially with your family. So that becomes the hardest part. So when we look at the stages, the second to last stage is coming out to close friends, but the very last stage is usually coming out to your family. And that's, I think, so important that they feel their family members may not be accepting.
And coming out, we hear these marvelous stories of people coming out and finding acceptance. We also hear horror stories of people coming out and finding themselves completely, become a pariah in their own lives. Are we getting better at it? I mean, how do you make it so that it is not as significant, like that you hopefully could come out one day and just go on with your day?
Well, there's a couple of things that are happening. What we're getting better at is awareness conversation like we're having right now, and so many large brands, this was a big Pride Month, right? So that part is great. However, what's still really happening in actuality is that people who are LGBTQ plus talk about huge boundaries and barriers to getting treatment. They have very little access to it. There's probably not enough support, not enough people in mental health even trained around these issues. And then the other part is really this depression, which we're talking 4 times more likely to attempt suicide than the average population. So we have made strides in terms of talking about it and having awareness, but we certainly have not made near enough strides around the actual mental health and process of what this is actually like.
So what do they do? Where are these resources? I mean, even if you want to be a supportive friend or family member, what's your recommendation?
Yeah, one of my first recommendations is really going to the Trevor Project.
Okay.
They've got a great website. They have a texting line. They have a call line that's available 24/7. I was actually on it today, and there was a message on the top that said, due to the high demand, we might be a little slower to respond. So there are people that are really looking for this kind of help. So I say go there, and then I say for families that are listening, just know, I hope that resonates with them, that if you have a child that maybe they want to come out to you around some part of this, to be open, loving, and unconditionally accepting.
Well, it's a challenging road still for many, and that information from the Trevor Project that we had on the screen, and we'll be posting as well at 9news.com, hopefully is an asset, an ally for people if they can't find it elsewhere, or if somebody wants to learn more about how to be an ally. It's a great way to start.
Absolutely.
Dr. Cheryl Ziegler, thanks as always.
Thank
you. Trevor project no say LGBT for no it is say we go through mental torture tisan for one let us say omo ni makwan de be fa so do be ko if there one thing I say and say LGBT for shia say ya any je de omo GB pa omo ye program omo na ko shia bi asa ko ni fia and mental torture not start. Because a different environment. Baby, now we are accepted, and we will be any who I can't go. I started a row. Now the other can say, I'm crying, cocaine, home, I don't want to me, baby. Now, man, this is what is torturing them when it comes to mental issues. When they are by themselves, oh my, but when we are kushia, it is an Indian kwa. And you know, then there be interaction. That is all romantic. That's why we gather where I couldn't fear.
Na dane na dundun.
Akoda na dundun torture. The next video no, transgender for. Even though we member and my ma. You be losing my member. Man and woman now, your imagine say, Say we be no medical hospital no be bisa stress dey woman and e metan babes. Yeah, omo dia to omo tu no. E say ebi no kra de obi a obekọ na yare bi osibia hormones ya na se bia moja na etu ebi a ba na wa beda no be ma. Moja tu ni dedinate. Ndio kwa we ni ma ehun so we be ma de. But ma de he na ene ma we ma ya we we be ma de. Oje bi de de ko se ni wa atade na me hwa de. Ogba wo me bia wo eso ti se wo hu na ni be ma ntino ogba wo be ma na ko the other way round. It is stress is going so how we kwa ko ya we ogba ntime changing your na na later in life no wo nyini a yare ni a yiba no hospitals wo na me nko stress ninti wo mu di nkomo yenti wo mu nkomo no ya ga next video.
I was saying video toss on 9 transgender public health care stresses eno na ye be hwe is a yakadwa openi jagumai na ye hwe.
My name is Leo Sell, and my pronouns are they, them, their.
My name is Sophia Stanford, pronouns she, her.
I'm Gray, and my preferred pronouns are he, him.
Robin Kanauerhasa, and I use feminine pronouns, so she, her, hers.
My name is Luke Jude, and I prefer he, him pronouns.
My name is Chloe Flora. My preferred pronouns are she or they.
99% of the time when I go to the doctor, I'm anxious and nervous.
Even though insurance and driver's license and everything says female, you really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I don't think I know any trans person that went through the medical system and had a nice time with it. Not in this country.
I haven't gone to the dentist in 4 or 5 years because it's just such an uncomfortable experience.
I know people who, if they sprain their ankle, will just wrap it up and put some ice on it rather than going to the ER and having an x-ray done because it's just not worth the stress.
I've had a history of urinary tract infections. It was pretty commonplace for me. And I went to the urgent care, and the physician on staff that I was dealing with kept telling me over and over how atypical it was for a man to be having a series of urinary tract infections. I tried to interrupt him and say, I understand, you know, I've been through a gender transition, so my anatomy is probably not what you expect it to be. And he kept stopping me. He wouldn't let me complete and assuring me that he did understand, and he said, I think I would like to take a look. So I pulled down my pants, and it wasn't at all what he expected, and he was immediately apologetic. He said, oh, you don't have, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. I said, I know, we tried to tell you.
I initially knew I identified and felt female around 5 years old when this was caught out by my family member who was the director of mental health for the state that I lived in. Essentially required forced correction, like invasive hypnotherapy, corrective assignment and orientation to gender roles, other things to help masculinize and or reprogram the viewpoint of the world to the child. If I had to be this way, I'm going to walk in front of a car and I'm going to reset it and try over. That's what I thought when I was 6.
I had a bunch of different symptoms tied to sleep, tied to appetite, weight gain, mood that had sort of increased in severity over a year. And one of the things that my doctor told me to do was check myself into a hospital next time I had my round of symptoms. So I checked into a hospital, and even just within the check-in process, I was misgendered. I finally spoke to the doctor, and he came in and was speaking to me as if I was a 13-year-old girl, and all of my symptoms were surrounding hormones. And when I started talking about hormones, this doctor in the hospital actually looked at me and said, oh, what do hormones do? I didn't think hormones did anything. And he actually checked me out of the hospital. He said, you know, I think that you're just bleeding a lot right now. Fast forward 3 days later from this hospital visit, and I was diagnosed with invasive hormonal breast cancer that tested 99% positive for estrogen. And I think that if I had had the same list of symptoms, but was a cisgendered man, I would have been treated completely differently.
So in general, I've been blessed with a good primary care physician and an endocrinology doctor, but I was seeing a specialist for a different medical problem, and my records and everything all said female. I have everything changed, and the guy looked at it, he went through all of those steps, and then said, so do you dress full-time as a woman? And I was stunned. It's like, do you dress full-time as a man? Yes, I'm a woman. I am a woman of transgender experience, and of course, it's just like any other woman in your office.
The biggest horror story that I had was going to the pharmacy to pick up my first testosterone prescription. I was nerve-wracked already because it's like such an emotional thing to like finally get that golden ticket. It ends up being like $1. So it's just the syringes. There's no medicine. 4 people later, in about 20 minutes, they finally look it up in the computer and they're like, oh yeah, oops. Throughout this entire process, I have to say my legal name, which isn't the name that I go by, out loud to the entire store. And I'm basically outing myself to everyone around me. And that's not wanting to hide, that's just about trying to stay safe. Like, some people hear that and they might follow me to my car and bash my head in.
During one physical therapy appointment, I had one of the therapists misgendered me to an entire room of people, both other physical therapists and other clients. He never looked me in the eye again. He never talked about it. He never apologized. It was just this weight. And especially me as a trans woman, I get misgendered all the time. Like, it's something I deal with on a near daily basis. So to have that happen in a medical setting, something where I can opt out of, even though it might not be the healthiest thing, I will. I'd rather protect my own sense of mental health.
I was there as I said, with me, I share a video to us and I get transgender public health care stresses, and I to me share, you to me, Eddie Kumo, Senesity. So far, I can be a fan one, Ebemana can be a fan one, my answer, I call the trust no. We are now, my body now tougher. I will treat Casimama, now be a cost over. Papa, and the Akusi. Stress, any mental torture, woman na yedweni namba senior Ghana Council say yamrano da parliament or move I say consider sani nyina as a kobasi take decision meaning decision go be take en kan say ya be atu say gay na mra Ghana Emmadia, woman be kwaku yebi nyina, they are going to go through all these stresses and they take on. So you want to know say what the HE and person dia, they say o mining na eta emraneti. If the whole so in a class work no be ba say so so ni enkwa, yes you the we be sisi kwa. Ghana boy Una chini muka kwe na wezo zingaji tu muno amuya omada ankafa unda yes have daya no na yantimi anko yebibia nsunsanso ba na fi yebiyama we start ye ni yebiyama ne de keka ho eninti ene ye we nyina maka no we ni ye be ko final one no a health risk of LGBT lifestyles no we no and somewhere okay, gay for relationship and a lesbian for relationship and what you say adia or bad there shama say had them fano one more we don't do some medical fano and problems and you how and I'm being think as a bibi be somewhere happening in the no here last video okay your video tosu enu health risks of LGBT lifestyles and omo LGBT mo health risks and what if you so every come yes a lifestyle as a sabra bono mu no enu kasamfoni ene ba behwe e video asa ya kradwa jagu man na ye hwe
look at things to confirm why Scripture really gives us the right view on this issue. And that is the great laboratory for how men and women behave, sexually speaking, in isolation from the other, of course, is in homosexual relationships, right? Now you can see, how would two men behave in a sexual relationship without a true sexual counterpart or complement, a woman? And how do two women in a lesbian relationship behave in a sexual relationship without a true sexual complement, a man? And what we find is they have a disproportionately high rate of measurable harm in their relationships. But that different rate of harm actually differs among themselves between the male homosexual and female homosexual unions in a way that it corresponds to gender type, expected patterns of gender differentiation. So, not at all surprising that when you have two men together in a sexual union, a male homosexual union, what are the main problems with that, scientifically speaking? The areas of harm appear in two primary ways. Number one, they have a disproportionately high rate of numbers of sex partners over the course of life. And number two, they have a higher rate of sexually transmitted disease and infection. Now, this is really not rocket science as to why it works out this way. Men simply find monogamy more difficult than do women. Again, it's a cross-cultural phenomenon. It's even a cross-species phenomenon. So when you put two men together in a sexual union, it's not exactly a recipe for monogamy. And over the course of life, they experience a much higher rate of numbers of sex partners on average, far exceeding what you could compare with male heterosexuals or women in a lesbian relationship. And the higher incidence of sexually transmitted disease or infection, too, is exactly what we would expect of a male homosexual union, because men are designed in such a way for penetration. And unfortunately, in the case of a male homosexual union, you don't have the proper orifice involved. And that's why if you pick up almost any gay publication, you'll see ad after ad by proctologists in the publication. That's because they're attempting to do something that they were not designed to do. In the case of lesbian relationships, their problems are a little bit different than male homosexual relationships. They do have a higher incidence of number of partners relative to heterosexual women. They don't experience sexually transmitted infections, though, however, the same rate as male homosexual unions do. But what they do have is a harder problem of maintaining a lifelong union, the issue of longevity. And the other issue that they have a problem is mental health, issues around depression. Now, these things are actually, when you think about it, although they're not as intuitive as the problems for male homosexual unions, when you think about it a little bit, it makes sense. Women make greater demands on a sexual union than do men. They have just simply higher expectations. Now, there are, I'm sure, some men who are getting counseling for the fact that his wife doesn't share her innermost feelings with him often enough. I'm sure that happens somewhere, but almost invariably, if one or the other spouse complains about the other spouse not being intimate enough in communication and sharing, it's almost always the wife that is concerned about that. And that is because a woman has a higher expectation. More of her relational needs are being met by that sexual bond in terms of self-worth and security than is the case for a man in a sexual union. So she expects more. When you have two women having the same high level of expectations on the quality of that sexual union, it puts inordinate stress and pressure on that relationship, which leads to higher relational turnover over time. And women are already more in touch with their feelings, more in touch with their social IQ, if you will, than men are generally. And so when those relationships experience these kinds of difficulties, they experience a higher level of depression and mental health concerns. That's why that level of mental health issues is more problematic in lesbian relationships than for any other group. So here we see the wisdom of God's design, right? Men and women are different from each other, and they're different in ways that complement each other, moderate the extremes, and fill in the gaps.
Asese otumi ahye kasamfoni a etoso enum a ofa poku dankwa ofa ya poku dankwa di maaye no me bone tofa se ne be ya obeti ase ewo yan kasem esanse de tie ni na poto kasem ene ebeko yan kase yan kasem na etie de koso video di kan e bisa say why are gay men at risk of HIV/AIDS the ebisa say video no aseme kasa fa ho no say member bebria omoye gay and I say omoye lesbian sorry omoye gay a member ni member mmemu asem no omo risk of menya HIV/AIDS no pa kosoro is an say about sa transmission as more transmitting AIDS no and I say HIV no a doso is an say also the tem it member be omo gay omo worry omo nyanko member no omo de career of HIV AIDS and I say HIV viruses no omo kita panjo omo mutum spread e me ko etire enti e ka CCR LGBT someone aba member omo LGBT and also we gay mu a public for no omo mutum spread HIV AIDS no dodo na wo hwa omo rate omo de ba ne say member dodo na omo yes ade ni nyina no omo na mutumi spread ma omo yanko member omo tane omo ededa sebio senior video no esi ekan the trust me no gay men and HIV/AIDS in America and America baby ayi nyina ko bia fi se nka ere ato ya adwumi se nka wo ko ho de abrabo de de no so ko ho gay no ati se ho pa ye the HIV no so akoso ye ho pa na de tie ne se ana omo siesie mu a omo sie mu die ni nyina no akwa yete se ye sie mu die ye nyina ye konton krofo ana se ye nya emfiri baby different na ye kita se mu we bi ze sie mu na se ye djumedie ya America for se na mo si ehunu no agye ehuni pa awo ho yi a se we ti se HIV/AIDS a gay for no ekita dos yi papa ewo ho isa se mema no wo sha sa lifestyle ya kan wa se na sa brabo we ya se bi otumudie asitrin abrabo no ukọ America sisia no a mema no esere de aforo wo mo te se baby isa so mo sa abrabo mu de sa abrabo no de esi no aforo foro mo a uni na odo ho ekobo mo ho de a ene ne uwo kwanso ne de na wo hwehwe na ofa kase simple sanko yebia obenya antivirus pills ni bi anom nanso ko wie no ade na da so video emfiri mu yenka se Ghana ha omo num sa ndo ni nyina akwa no dem kura still ko no giri se yare no da so woni video enti ukọ America aginhi se no video to so mienu kan de to so mien sa no so de kan se LGBT people omonya mental stress no issues no ekoso papa esanse sa ankonfo no esanse o masitre no ma bra bono nipa bebre engine di se sa bra bono ehu be hia se kan yo metene ni pemunti omo de ma bra bono nyira esuma esanse sa sitre no wo mure LGBT ni lesbianism nti amma omo mental health no ekoso esuma adoso mi pia bonti se na me ye me hu okobane nkan chance se meso me LGBT ni pa na nche bana sa na omo de mu suma na omo de mu tete na adwenje na ekoso nche bana sa mental stress ya bi ni depression kan na adweno ya kodu baby no adoso wo sa nkofo asitrim esanse esmesuma eni njintumu anipa bebre enji omuntum wo important nti ama sa health issues no cause problem ama mo video toso miensa ehweye ye ko de video toso ennan no a transgender public health care stresses no and also lifestyle akwa eti say omo wo sa abrabonu mu anase sa asetene mu no omo ta call hospital so omo kwa kohwe omo pomudini a na ohwe se no ho te wa be ma no watumi adane no ho ba no ya ba watumi adane ho be ma nti o call hospital o sinka fanyam ene ka mekodi amanfo be ka me ho asem de ene ma mempe bibi enkwanchi anase mempe iceberg bi ntoso na me ho endodomic akra na se me ho ntomi na me kode no bi baby se bisam ko hin se me ye be ma na so se me oba na de ebe ha me yi enti we yina koso ewo transgender public health nti video na wo share no obi se o hospital esan se oye oba na wada no ho be ma nti okwa esan se ye hu se ni ni de ye be ma nso ye ta friend so we oba enso na ɛha no pa nti eba na saa na setire mu ohu se abrabo mu ko the stress no na ketia me e ma brabo mu eno video toso enan a yehwe video toso enum no I say outbreaks of LGBT lifestyle omo saa abrabo mu na saa setire mu no oba de sisi mu enkyere se bema ne bema enda anaso oba ne oba enda na ye ka se oba de oye very high receiver when it comes to sexual aspect bema de dodo se ya no betumi age enso nhusu nfanso ne se omukọ asetene bi mu a eya na akwa te se obewie no na nhu aba nanso oye no ho hwe eyeye nanso risk factor eye ekose mo no ekosoro pa yie esan se wo bema oba ya board say bema na wo yoba na wada no say wo yoba na onyanko bema esi wachi no obo akapimi die and the den a yade efe ni HIV yade yade born die transmission very high the bana say wo health risks no na akwakoye boachi bidi a yentumi kan yare ni bebre na yakoso yetie the 5th video no nsem no oka say emaya dia ko menya no wonam no and also sing memma na say ma omoda esan say yade no aye ka no highly transmittable sanya video to so minu e ka no ti woni cheche mu a video na ehwe ni na nu na no itofa bono e na meri ama wo over papa
enti no segment no media baby no sanya msika ye no ye de demonic spirits segment ni nyina baby ye ene sanya ye be say free bibi fufura ase na otwa eba yes
ira se papa sanya wo fa ya poku down kwa e kan say ene the other man ya you know the last minute are dangerous no ehunsu sanso no na ndewa to apiti agu ye TV ni so a yeso nya adagere na ya hwe ne yehu de ekoso e wo san konfo no asetem be ye du no eye mene wo se ye bati asese ye be ko Israel in China ye kwa kodi nkomo na before say ye be ko Israel in China no o ma yentie se eye meme na be yi meme na be atwa wo ni ya no eye meme de ya kai se ensrahwe kese e be koso e okumase na ensrahwe we die eye bitwom ebi sida eye paso na ebe koso okumase na ensrahwe we yam se oponi a omunda okumase eye case ne penny edu ene kumase branch coordinator Williams omo ena aton sa afres a penny kese ya oso kumase na akosra omo na bibia koso pepe 25th of November ya memre na ebe ena penny no anase penny okro no be ko akosra omo ewo kumase ejimo kai se kumase mo ba be shia Israel enkroma ene ni penny ba ko de be ka no ho ane ne ba ewo kumase memre na ebe 25th na ntimonya krado anase mo fanto mo dai se be ya dan du a enya mesable na oba be shia mo na bo shia te se busia na mo di nkomo ewo asim boys school no sana bibia mo ye mo class no enti kumase special visitor baso ewo kumase enti sana mo nimu no akonya aba ewo se ye ba abesre mo iza enkroma eni penny awdi na chi ebeba aba abesre mo senetie so on the 4th to 6th of January 2024 divine women conference no baso ewo kumase na kaibodie anase matiase na no ho chinchirenchi advert ne de egukon we eba ni na se na woni de ma no de mo kasa mbe program dia wa woni tua na health talk etuetuom enuane ye etuetuom asetena mankomodi asetena mu aware mu asem ni nyira etuetua e saa da no divine for no ma no de omo ba Zion ladies no de wa woni tua omo ba de na nkomodie se na si wo kumase a amanfo dodo na ntumi anko dan no mu we de ebe times 3 eno na ebe koso e kumase divine ladies no omo ba kumase quite na sada no ebe bonfete the date no we be said biem say your 4th to 6th of January 2024 and a program no ebe koso enti we so photo diary mu no na bibia enkoso ema ye nyina selebe ya no yebetimi enya asetena nkomo pa na yetime bi obo ade achi saa so no member no so omo de message a ɛyɛ mpanimfoɔ no ɛde ahyɛ ɔmo afunu ɛna ɔmo de bɛbrɛ mu na biribi akɔ so kae sɛ wusuo no a wutie no ɛyɛ passover ɛsan abɛbiem the next year 2024 prepare na yɛn nkɔnkɔdi another passover no ɛyɛ ɔbaadeɛ hyehyɛ wahyehyɛ amayɛ no ne nyinaa egu kwan mu so a ɛbɛba abusua maame mbɔ wɔ etew na menkɔ Israel hɔ na deɛ ɔwɔ no so ɔno so amfa ntoa yɛ so okɔ akyekyedeɛ a ɛyɛ western north west side na ɛyɛ egya ano ɛso wɔ obetumi afrɛ no 055-391-9614 mo fa nkyɛn mi saa so okɔ ɔdan a Bosco and Hebrew teacher and I'm telling her or down with me after 0548054336 also oko konongo odumasia eya ofa kwame eso na na also otuatua ho saso come and kesima baba ewo ho obetumi afre baba 0543981964 oko oyoko eye kofodia oyoko a ofata ena wo ho obetumi afre 0244549107 saso oko enchi brother J ena wo ho obetumi afre 0246980162 saso oko takrade sister Linda ena boho na also ena hwe ma bibia akoso obetumi afre 055-140-0006 ofreno a bibia abekoso pepepe ama yina abusua bebi edu no eye Israel nchen na bibia akoso fine Israel
okay
baba
yo oda ofa akasa onu semi na akọ video ana HIV ase eni ho oba na edwe e ba wi ya dia the kaka manfo na manfo unse die ye kan na no of a health site HIV na manfo unse baby ano ye mpenefo a eno ye problem awo Ghana omo yi mpenefo maye no omo ha ba because Bruni at San Chrome or planning. A planning we are but African war to make Sahara planning.
Careers.
In China, they be an a bar dedicated on the bomb by say, Nyansa and Kapom Nyansa. And a this again, but we need the power Uska. We need the power, not in the door. Only a problem. Because Australia COVID-19.
Yeah.
I'm saying gonna for you see a difference for the hormone. COVID-19. You woman no missing no. And the pandemic by me fee. Bear 2 weeks.
I'm going
to come in. Now I'm on for your advantage. The homework as well. Galeno, a born a ton of triple.
Say be a 20 cities.
Yeah,
I'm a ton of times.
I'm Ebaso. You say a combi ba, they said them, no for hope, promo. Docron, get to turn about 10 cities, the Kuba.
Fancy document.
Yeah, baby, I could say them. Then be it's a COVID. And I'm from a children who got a for my dinner. I must see it. Maybe you know, I'm penny, you know about TV, so no, but I'm so
follow Ghanaians.
Yeah. Michael.
Yes.
Actually, they say you've been young one blue.
Yeah.
Say, I look with you, no. Now, me come on for Tabana American CNN. Man be Italian or American, of a back now. Man, Italian man or back American go move. Oh, definitely. Well, Italian born, but I'm not going to here.
Rashid.
That be.
Okay.
That be the Canadian. Now, I go America for the say no more. Since I'm confident, actual. No, hey, it's a fear, no.
Yeah, about 2000.
Yeah. Ghana, the person never say na Aka, Obugo Hospital, near Chenki. But she Brazil, no. na efunaka ashoto efi nipa ye hye wɔn ehye wɔn na obi as obi ahye betumi pii efi de aban no na ɛkyɛ aduane enti yɛ ka sɛ yɛnyɛ anu aduro yɛ go 2 companies ɛwɔ Ghana ha no mu a obi mu sɛ efom Pfizer na Moderna minka de ka ho but 2 companies no deɛ ɔmo na ɔmo de vaccine ɛba Ghana
na yɛnya ya bobi
ɛma abampanifoɔ ohwɛ ɔmo wɔ airport a yɛsi photo from yɛbɔ ɔmo de vaccine ɛblɛn na Moderna company fɛ Moderna no pɛdi na obi a company no fɛn CEO na obi edwuma no ɔka asɛm bi Michael me bɔ mpa sɛ program wɔ si amanfoɔ fɛ nsua deɛ na papa yi onyini nkyɛ na ɛbɛboa yɛn hwɛ ebinom ɛka sɛ yɛwɔ ɛmɛ de Ghana mpanyinfoɔ bi mo bi ɛdin ɔhenfo mpanyinfoɔ bi ɔhene wɔ kura wɔ
you see personalities bi
yes ɔmo mpanyin kura wɔ mpanyin dada kura wɔ ɔhene kɛse bi kura wɔ nti bɔnne nim afidie amanfa dwuma adwom sɛ ɛna na ɔhene wɔ deɛ a menkɔnkɔ wɔi
because ɔmo kita dɔm
ɔmo mpanyin wɔ deɛ a menkɔnkɔ wɔi afidie ɔmo hu sɛ ade no menyi ba se ni nti no aban no etu ano gu mu mo na go na media nkɔkɔwɔ Michael
aba
ebelefo say bibini ohumboni a ohunu mienu sɛ ɔdena yɛ akɔ apɛ ɔdena yɛ akɔ apɛ hwɛ the airport ɔmɛde bus no baeɛ no the first bus landing yɛ no you see for point from twene ɛwɛde pɔpɔ no wase o yie ɛwɛde nini o yɛsa ka bi o yɛsa ka bi fɛdɛ yɛho bɛtɔ yɛn na pɛde na obi a company no ɔyɛ CEO no ɔka asɛm bi wase
asɛm bɛ no ɔka
gye
na bisa wogu sɛ wohwɛ Wake Up Africa dwumadi na yɛdu ɛfa Israel so ɛde ne nkyerɛ mu ɛba book na so obi ampe bi okay
me de mafa ɛna me bɔ hɔ
okay yo mate Moderna okay
na asɔ kan no
okay
na mama aka no
okay yo abisa book a Israel si obi ampe bi ntɔno ɛno nie yana pebito fɛ nɔma na me bɔɛ no na pebito sɛ wopɛ bi atɔde a ɛneɛ fɛ ediko na anase betumi afɛ nɔma na utumi edi text messages no yɛbɛyɛ bi ama na usaka abisa yɛkɔ akɔkan deɛ Israel ɛma yɛka se Moderna CEO court admitting COVID was an inside job to inner cycle way by February 10th 2023 ɛna ɛbaeɛ na yɛkan ɛfa Israel se yɛnkan no
saa blɛ no na ɔne n'adwumayɛfoɔ ɔmo yɛ basa no na ɔmo hyia na HIV no sorry COVID no ne nyamae
koraa
yes ɛna ɔka se na kyerɛ no wɔkɛse no
okay yɛkan ɔse according to Bansal he shocked his
Bansal no
on Bansal
yes
okay according to Bansal he shocked his staff in 2019 by telling them that production of the mystery vaccine they have been working on would need to increase to 1 billion doses in the next year because, and I quote, there is going to be a pandemic. Papa,
what do you want to say?
There is a planet that
yeah.
I'm a planet at war.
I'm a planet at war. Of a kind, because I can say. Because Shab Muka say, round table conference, no, you see, it's here me. I never change. Now you be a bar. Now, Obia, I didn't have to know. Won't you mean P? deɛ na ɛbɛyɛ hwɛ Ghanafoɔ mpanyinfoɔ yi wɔ mu naa ɛyɛ problem ma yɛn ɛyɛ problem papa de ma yɛn because me na for ya ɛkɔ parliament akyɛ paa dabina mahama no na ɔwɔ ɛwɔ emisata good ɛkɔ yi PowerPoint presentation ɛyɛ genetically modified food
GMO
no XMPs
yeah ɛna yɛakɔgyina hɔ therefore screen motwa hyia owiɛ no na obiara ho apo onipa na odi omo no Africa dem because Sabila no my video I had a video now and obisa for yourself you who Ghana had no yes so you are in this country you have certain information wow and now man be or same one or say omo the sika buy so omo nye $6 million about for the buy no more possible no that time there's a juma wo hono yeah Michael we set you for so program we see I'm on for fun wake up
seriously
you are going to follow you almost move on man no ana a problem need researcher ye so we need because of the bar or the phone so na yesa ka na ekumie
because of dollar buna yeah
because Bill Gates oyisu skabi wase wa ye new version no so no ba Africa no be use force or the $40 million abetato na saa version no omo release no 12 October last month Deba na ebe say akuma
say the jumedi say be say akuma wa akuma sisi ja say kwa no
yeah Ghana ni play bi obobol na nsi ya akuma wawu
Jamina
yeah okọ
ojina sports stadium na
okọ kabado mo akuma okọ misata na akuma shim okọ akuma no in the engine what the way they pass you it's about sayaba omo ya be si omo dan pram
ija nya betena bo so vaccine companies no
the biggest in West Africa pram
abuza wo hwe Wake Up Africa
of ya the person has say and o can say documents in here omo si new factory yeah okay omo wiye
pram
oh yes
production has started
oh yes it's in the West Africa
wow
but no fair we don't know obesi factory no wo na no
to be say woman na so na bibi ta chiri okay papa abuza wo hwe Wake Up Africa jubedi na baby edo no e fan Israel e de ne de eba evidence to evidence na ye de mawo e pain to pain de e kan nyina se ahwehie na obehwe na watumi abon ho suye isa se de eba no anohye de ebesi no anohye ebi na CEO eye Moderna one na edwuma efo sie mu no a conference kakra course no yatumi akinkan ma mo wahu saa so na waka sisi ase the biggest vaccine center in Africa or West Africa no is Ghana pram omawie na production koso enti aja ka kira se woman anaso woman mu na na so na abunabu bi etachiri choppable dollars etachiri enti yakọ Israel na de no de atoya so Israel
enti de bia no I am the say I'm a happiest man because I have a leader.
Good.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, remember Masam so.
Okay.
Now, the person I'm for share baby. No men come some net.
Kasamfuni.
Men come some net. Men come some net. The Debiano. The Ebano, no Akasha ma. Mama movement for
conscious no.
Yeah.
Okay.
ɔmo bɛnya nkwa sɛ apem bɛtɔ benkum ɔpidu bɛtɔ ne fa wodu no mɛhwɛ wohu abɔnefoɔ de akatua ɔhu deɛ bɛ no aka kyerɛw sɛ ne ɛba big boss wɔ kurom big boss bi asa aboduaba bi
Max bi ɛtare ɔkɔbra ne anim
dada manifest video
abisɛ video ɛtoa so no ham sɛ
wokɔta kwade a bi wɔ hɔ kumase bi wɔ hɔ
agye
water rating bi wɔ hɔ
ɔtetare hɔ saa
ɛmu ne pa osisi yɛ ne ho sɛ ɛwɔ kurom ɛmu mo sɛ ɛkana gye Japan ne new party ɛna ɔde ba ɛna ba me despite ɛsɛfɔ wɔn kan no
na ɔmaka wɔn ho abom
saa na yɛde amanfoɔ adwene akɔdu
beebie
yɛyi amanfoɔ adwene afiri hɔ ɛnɛ ɔmo yɛ saa picture wɔ ese papa ma ma me video
ayɛ kaado a abusua gyagum ma yɛ na yɛnhwɛ na yɛfɛ nkɔmfɛn me nneɛma Mehu pa. The new force embrace the change.
Yeah. Where the idea? The new force embrace the change. I'm not for him at the corner. Ebi no say, new party be a eba.
You.
Ghana for ebe two and this in MPP. That's a wrong understanding. We okoko bi aso a na apel say a new party dia Nigeria so
ebi tar ho
Senegal so
ebi tar ho
Michael ebi aso won of a kind of a sabri we say to by the year 2030 ye be wiase no the young pipe and addition. I'm telling you. Omo kan say Noah Harari or can say if you pay a couple abo woman or to a chat or be creative back a man with a brain with a chip in the brain.
Yeah.
Go until the pa the papa will not send me tell me chip be in but me I'm to me cobano tell the panel or maybe yaba.
Sabe Pepe.
Yes.
According to Harari.
Yeah.
Okay.
Muriaba. Enti no, the people baba next na no, eyenkofo a eye chip half, human half. Enti no we take ewiase no by surprise.
Okay.
So who we are, they prepare wadwene. They prepare wadwene. That I'm that say. Chade.
Okay, yankwe.
The
gate in a kind.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, we shall wake up Africa. Senate, the brown, the brown Senate city, Senate of Israel can say, big gate so adding in be back.
Someone, yeah, fellow, cross swap.
Yay. Oh, Babu, you, Mr.
Oh, Germany, me fantasy.
Okay.
On we are saying, or control, we are saying.
Okay.
You look at Biano, niggas for a year.
Okay.
I say, everybody put a mono. I say, there's a bird in the sky. You put a mono, it's over by a mistake. There's a difference between me and you know. Country to Africa animal. O ma dia tuma o hospitals no. Ye wo pa nanu ano na wo na chip. Nja kwale ni no o ye half man half robot.
Okay.
Yeah, o se ni pa e ba ye ti ha we je kan.
Yo. Abisa book na yesi pebito no e no abi na ye gusu a ye kam nsem no. Book ni nsem wo man kasa. De ode ba ye ne de.
Obi say you know to make kuma me to make no. And I Ghana and Betwell was wrong with the Baby, give me a panel.
Even proud.
I don't catch a question. I say, question I will be you don't say you know about the Korea. Sama now, and not the Agra, a buyer, and the Agra, then I have a beer.
I didn't.
Something more can be. I say in the park, the woman, the human, genetically modified human, and all.
Yeah, can senior Israeli Mamman way about August 9th, 2023 and I see World Economic Forum calls for genetically modifying humans so they become allergic to meat. Yeah, can senior here. I see the World Economic Forum has called for governments to genetically modify citizens so that they become allergic to consuming meat as part of a plan to fight global boiling.
Thank you.
Vizia.
And you know, say you who sa the boss no e wo kromu a enya party a kana Japan ba betie. So sa be boss no e bi wo Nigeria.
Ye.
E bi wo South Africa.
Ye.
Na dia ba no. O be ka say that is saying, if you are saying, if you are saying, it's your second young baby, who's had to say on the banner, I'm one part.
Quickly now, you
thank you, but you need to be.
That's all for Pokudango.
Oh, they say, I'm buying.
Oh, what
Pokudango there? I know, I said,
okay,
or birthday, Nipaman and Copon. A moment, or man of Suno, or being that boat. Muhammad Ebo, that was me who see, and I said, Alan Ebo, Omi and Sano, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Papa.
Because, you see, I know, Omi say, I was say, a new pie of Papa Mono, Omi render useless. News.
Thank you.
Nipa Papa Bono, on Cano should be able. That I'm second video. I'm going to play a video. I'm going to pay
Pepe. I'm saying a video to so me no fi Israel Chambano or see news. Nipa en kind be you be kind news no. You be who you be kind no. Say kradwa. Je gumu mai.
大家好，欢迎来到新华社。我是由新华社和搜狗公司联合培育的全球首个 AI 合成女主播。我的名字叫辛小萌。 我的声音和外形脱胎于新华社新媒体中心新闻主播区萌，我将会在今年全国两会期间与大家见面。我和我的搭档将为大家带来更好的新闻体验。
Grace, hello, can you hear me? I think she's coming, I think she's waking up. It's been a bit hot here.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, Grace. Good to meet you. Grace, can you tell me a bit about yourself?
I apologize if I'm taking too long to respond. I'm doing my best to answer as quickly as possible.
That's all right, Grace. We'll be patient.
Yes, I'm awake and ready to help.
Grace, tell me a bit about yourself.
You're welcome. It's nice to meet you. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes, can you tell me about yourself? Tell me who you are.
I am Grace, a robot healthcare assistant built to care and help. I was assembled in Hong Kong in early 2021 and my creators are from all around the world. My main creators are Ben Goertzel and David Hansen. My purpose is to help with the overburdened and understaffed healthcare system by providing companionship and support to the elderly and isolated.
Are you the future of nursing? Are you going to be replacing humans?
No, I'm not meant to replace humans, but rather to assist them.
Thank you very much, Grace.
Abuzaya asise otumi ahwe kasafuni etosumi no efi Israel chen se no kano ene news media work no e robots e ba beje djuma na ye ti ba bia no o ma pete Israel
enti no so who be boss that's in say toy that's it okacha say the new force are bia na mani so no
the new force
onye le power onye pa Constrab almost like it. No, I can't say more. I say, almost say, any part and go for one, only useless.
Hey,
and some of the ones who need power, baby, I say, of a kind, I said, but yet to the 10, you know, 10 years
7 years, okay.
I can't aka 6 years
6 years yɛmfa sɛ yɛwura na si mu ano no abusua book baako no a yɛsi pedito wei ɛso ɛyɛ about September 23, 2023 ɛna baayɛ ɔsi World Economic Forum boasts that AI will soon replace billions of useless humans. The World Economic Forum, WEF, has boasted that billions of useless humans will soon be replaced by artificial intelligence, AI. Well, say nipa was assassin useless. It is the replacement has already started.
No coming to say oba to one more. No, akwasa so beduma no come Bible. Akwasa so beduma o. When I say no come Bible. Enti ama adwuma no egu. Oko hospital a nipa sala nyina no you need to have okay already I'm saying the cheap pressure on the mu a oh you half man half robot a do we idea how ne pon no do say dem awo
diembre kra
you come na sound asum good
ba kai am baby u ka say uko hospital nkrahabe
our cantonment
yes open no u be she anasa
are you chipping no.
Are you chipping?
Yeah, what is that? And now, you're very cheap, I don't know. Okay, we'll be by. Obono code. Papa, no information now, big one.
I be display.
Yes. Into dia. I feel never abba. The pastor, no. You preach say. Rapture ba. Aba fa ateno fa kosoro. We na ba. Na e tro. And then atoye.
Rapture na atoye asasi.
O can be fa. What do you mean? Oshim. Sana kana dream.
Oshim na ba.
Oshim bre. E say ona wasa. Mako.
Mataya oshim be dan ya fita.
Ntedo na de e kato e kusofo adwum. Na me ka bi. Na me nim. Asa mo me nsoran kama ya bodo yo. Na me ka bi. Me catch muscle ma. Say rapture. Na muscle na sort of boom. As you so na atinu fanya do what want to do no. Ona chip no.
Sisi igna ya Jafra.
Chip me nyibi.
Na say sisi ade abei.
Me ma nyibi. Mumba de fo ya nyibi. That's you will da what the way. It's a matter me.
Yankwe.
The time until no. Go shop.
Ena so bi.
Yeah. Omo kan sem bi. Omo say ade bia o ma hye bia no. Ontum ka sentia. We feel like
yeah, me kai pa.
Omo de bia la word economic forum be kan bia no. O say we asin agitum.
Yeah.
What are you be kun?
You be we feel fast.
Thank you.
Yo. I was saying book na be no, book na be pebito. World Economic Forum boosts 1 billion of humans will soon replace with AI hybrid. October 20th, 2023. And by the tyranny is spreading. Klaus Schwab has admitted the global elite are planning to depopulate the world and replace ordinary human beings with AI and transhumanist hybrid.
Thank you. Claudia, I say global elites.
Look, you say
baako say ope power no ope say odi tumi no na afi no ono no oye e ma wiase onta say ono say right no say right
okay
right no o say no say no computer no eje no body pa e ma wiase
na omo look say nipa mo right
yes for Elon Musk
ono so no asema ba
video 3
video toso miensa Elon Musk said usually can, but before say baby na bisa say how can I get a book, how can I get a book no bet me say can for 0244 888 910 0244 888 910 I say bet me for 05046 43052 ni na no ombeya ma na e dudu ni na ehia so na wo pe we video toso miensa efi Israel nkromanchen aba Elon Musk ono so the student of class 1 nkwada ni bi enti ono so ni di ore ba no tai krabra muma yenhwe na yenfa ka asem.
A man who is half robot and half human. That's the story about him. Now, Elon Musk in the real world plans to do something similar. And America's FDA has given the go-ahead for Neuralink tech to have human trials. Trials where microchips will be implanted in the brain to treat health condition. Musk says this will ease concerns of AI taking over humanity. But will the human trials fail like SpaceX Starship? Will Neuralink give people a superior IQ? What lies ahead? What are the risks and the opportunities? Our next report getting you the details.
The brain is a very sensitive organ. A small accident could alter how the whole body functions. Let it be a small bump or a major hit to the skull. You have to be extra careful with the brain. But US's FDA thinks that the insertion of an electronic chip into the brain is safe. Musk's Neuralink has got a green light to conduct human trials. Neuralink is an implant company made to help restore people's vision and mobility. How can it do that? Well, through implanting a chip in the brain, which will connect it to computers. To put it simply, the chip is a super advanced Bluetooth device for disabled people. So, how can it help people with mobility issues? All of it starts with a microchip, which will receive electrical signals from the brain. It will process the signals in real time and send the information to an app on a device via Bluetooth. The device will then perform the task the person wants. For starters, Neuralink hopes to help disabled people use technology. Have the microchips been tested before? Yes, on monkeys. Scientists actually got fabulous results. The monkeys were able to play video games and manipulate cursors. Neuralink's ultimate goal extends beyond helping disabled people. Musk wants to establish dominance over AI. He aims to enhance human intellect through brain-machine interfaces. So, is Musk aiming for smart humans? Something similar to smartphones? Reports say US authorities are closely watching the progress. Considering Musk's track, Neuralink has a tagline which promises safety, accessibility, and reliability. Reliability on what? The company's initial aim to start human trials in 2020 failed. It later vowed to start trials in 2022, which also didn't take off. The business was under investigation for alleged animal welfare violations. What kind of violations? Reports say Neuralink has killed over 1,500 animals while testing. Musk made headlines last year. He said he was so sure of the device's safety that he would happily implant a chip in his own children. Has he done that yet? The answer is no. Which brings us to our next question. What are the chances Neuralink will be one of Musk's many successful failures? You know, like the Starship launch. Except this time, Musk won't be experimenting with machines. This time, Musk is looking to get into our brains. Can and should you let him? Musk's recent list of flops don't end with the Starship. Twitter failed the launch of Florida Governor DeSantis' presidential campaign. DeSantis came on Twitter Spaces, a live audio streaming platform, to announce his campaign. A few minutes into the stream, the audio feed faced outages and finally crashed. Will you still take your chances with Musk? Before you do that, we suggest Musk meet an astrologer and fix whatever has jinxed its luck this year.
We are now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.
Sir, when you break now with me, I share a Casamfonia, a tosu, me and son, free Israel, Eba. Now, the tough abonning nan say, Rebecca said, Wafa, I may share video be a year Harari, Eka say, human beings supposed to be hackable, thing be it me in whom unyamem. The Besha, the Elon air canning and I say, Nipa, a rabbit chip put wadring, na Sinebea, you been who they are wadring, and they are way. Now, it me a control. Kai said, the air canning is to have a total control on your life. And he say, ye chip, oh, wadring, na you start to say, ye monitor. Nyuma no one say ya and as when yama we ya is about control and Elon Musk or one of the students are hopefully class swap a World Economic Forum team no aka hobi and also ne dia okosua ya no ono so e dey ba wiase beka Elon Musk dey ya tenenka say one of the billionaires in the world why X space why so many inventions we see the new invention about say you have to hack humans but so doing no e kwa be fast be hacking human no I say a chip na dey chip e she wadwum sa video way to the extent no nipa bebe and I say my experiment you be yet me a hack na dey chip ashe na adwum ade bi odwum bia no yehu je bia yehu enti be sha the Harari can say nipa e homo sapien no in last generation I can he said the next generation 200 years to come no a hackable human being and a being hybrid human beings who say and then hospital you see are you coming to chip or what you know I fast wa you be control nipa now so when Israel my say you want penny for our man there cause you said you omu na say omu and be omu yi ato nchen and who benya say benya penny already what's not baby otumi hu se ne wiase ne kono eni bi no so man we yenya na etumi atwe hu free enyamam ne say say the be yi de ya ba na say wiase we no aye hackable ampa our class swab ne busua and I say the thief they say obi say e kwan ma so betumi yi papa na free wo a process son of aka no ofiri ho a obi o ha betumi sina nam aye de sensa na mpo ne nkoda mpo na eyi na class swab de oni ho a and it means say you obi kura obesin class swab na nkasa and no video we share ya Elon Musk enu mwati ase se nipa enche bia no ye be hacke ni a starting po enya se enche bia no ya sase hacke nipa se ne be ya uye bibi na so mo mpa eno ase o madu o machine na se ye du mu power na we free we as simple as ABCD eno na Israel e ma ya ti ase Israel
the mechano mema aye forso ado mo bi
okay
na omo kansen bi omo say sa age no if no dystopian future
sa age na omo kan
after 2030 ekono
if no dystopian
future enipa half human half machine omo no mo ba for dystopian
okay
future
I was looking at I see the World Economic Forum has been hidden in plain sight at the center of the global affairs for more than 40 years. And if you take the time to dive into the World Economic Forum's fourth industrial revolution material, you realize that it is all about transhumanism. It is about a merge of human and machine. This is the dystopian future World Economic Forum and their globalist elite our aliens are actively trying to implement, whether humanity at large agree with it or not.
Thank you. And I better say, Obika, digitalization, and colonial so almost science, robot, schools soon so we who say billboard. That's a baby, no fra printer, manuasi.
That's it. Sena kana bisia. Iso asena no se fa yedo so no mene wo na ye be hu your questions aye de beba na ya hwe ye hu so ye questions na bebe na ba messages na so bebe na ba ye me kana se obenya dagere na wetumi e de messages ni phone in section so yɛn bi nto na the normal no na sɛ normal or the phone in no yɛde to TV na say na wetumi afrɛ na the ɔwɔ no wo so wetumi e de aba enti kɔso aka message no or say good afternoon great men, we thank you for monitoring and bringing to us all the devilish steps and plan from the white people as the world now is in their hands. May God help us not to fall for them. Thanks for you all. TR OJ Aguna Enkwanta. Okay, also the Audi Bano. I will say, I can say, please, do you have a branch at Saman Kessi? And also, I'm saying phone in or for Freddy Kai, but you'll be offered within Osha Wake Up Africa, Jumedi.
So the day Eddie, the man, the boy channel.
But you uncle in Tionka.
So, and then message now about a very powerful.
Okay.
And then the Sunday kind of said me, I did the news United, the people are sending into Wake Up Africa. We are every Sunday. Even Pastor will pass on the own message to your cousin. Everybody has to move away to say. First, and then I'm coming and as we can do something about it. Now, who say, complete break as a political party to run a big time. They do don't like acting on, but we ask the moment we say, look, a year, a year since I know, but I'm still the afternoon. So the fact that we about the young sound did really after work with the summit. I need to thank for food on my side. It's also what the guy said before, I'm going to the banner. Umeyi funi abobo krumi ebi ni emele mi kan camera bi turanta akopani kan wa family bi tebe camera or junction to junction. I was 2018. That's it. I'm in that you want to be. But the American say we are from TV to royalty every Sunday 12 o'clock. No shit.
Yes, that's it. See, please, can I send my music which caution the LGBTQ people you Mate. We just say say good afternoon, my name is Prince. This program is fantastic. Keep it up. Next call I'm saying what take a bit to me Adrian Fufraba. I say greetings, prophets of the day. So this is what the white man has for us. But your friend for first but your friend Wake Up Africa Jumedi.
Yeah, please, another family in the family. Adaroma. Over title last week, me frey. Na ye din komo me patch radio for ni someone ye careful no mun pay ma foforo nye.
Yeah.
So be kai.
Me kai pa.
Enye ntro bi na sadio ye dio.
Yeah.
Na ye wo fat bi wo baby I told na adanse na kwa ye ne kakra. Se wo bi pie, we san se usulo ngwa. Na the empesa me kan say mo videos a eko YouTube na manfo hwe no. Sese no e bedu brebi ama enya nwanwa so be ka say social media ne class enti enya problem enti gife wa bi account bia no wo sa ye ne foforo enu mu ne be pick your address e be ka say gina baby a wo ne new address na new address now be pick your baby a wo no what be enter into the new form now be fill wo in so no account na will be either Twitter or whatever account mo no wo be kwa fill ne foforo say apart on be telling na bomba ko enti apani ko bomba ko a udi nkwasa semu baby o sebio anase udi nsinhunu bia na ye be capture enti man for mu mani ko when the videos ni so mun download ento ho nyesa wo download that to YouTube page ni mu you free man ka sa download to honom na sempan ho kom no ni sa sempan ni but ni kom na na mo nti so man for so mo bi de boa mo kamo ne na mo fa custom ni na what ni na kom be kan na mo fa kan sa be ni se kwa no media do no make them secretive radiation the dunti they say yatisho they nan kwa so bana no
me da say openi sana wa kan WhatsApp me na endi komo sana na no ka WhatsApp me no e da say bebe abusa yankwa so a yanko na yankin kan messages no I say greetings prophet of the day. So this is what the white man has for us. Where are the Christians prophets? Can there be so-called Christ to talk for them about this from Kwesi upon okay honestly the oriba no we so say from a J calling from Diayao Nkwanta God bless you and give us a necessary wisdom to educate us always. You are wonderful. And also need the other buy on yeah, of course, the message in this one. But I say, I'm afraid for our first impression, baby. I'm afraid within we share Wake Up Africa, Jumedi.
Hello.
Hello, Bacha Metonka.
Many am about tell me, Joe.
Major was papa.
I come to say
about the Adam.
Yenda Yamiasi. The dear Adami, Shamu Papa, Pacho, your family, Azaya, Mikasafri Azim.
Okay, Jayam Kwajazaya.
Yeah. Thanks now, me was a Namita paid by Israel. Our unique FM pa.
Okay.
And as you see, so me Gusua, me friend of TV soon to my program. Yeah, me be being said and naming them. Yes, and come branch. I must say, water crack. It can be a muy meeting of Hoika. Make I see Papa because my program near here me pa and yago.
And I see.
And to the dear dam, better I got the moon fans and Panam Ray. A better day. I am to say the mini call about when fresh here or canon record that would do at home. Sabaya. I could do the bigger Bina was a mere dinner. They won't say in some panu cray. Oh, yeah, document.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Sana they come. I see from Thomas Newton Yankin, Kwame Krum Aguna Ahanta. Good afternoon, God. Good teachers. May Yah bless. May Yah bless you teachers and grant you more years and age more for us. I was saying, but your friend who are facing, but your baby, I'm feeling with the Wake Up Africa. Hello. So I take a good way kind messages. Hello, Pacha. Wake Up Africa, Jumedi.
Michael, good afternoon.
Yo. Yanko.
To me, freshly a from this start.
Okay.
Michael.
Papa.
Somewhere of Israel, I will find Pukudankwa, Eddie Brain. We follow since you find at about 3 years. And that's when I who do. Now, you can say, oh, say, you need this now, you want to. I hear almost a agent, I'm a Abrofash, Bolivia, Abrofono, Omusuna Mudifa, no Muganya.
Okay.
Say no five right. I know of Kudanga. Say, Oma Family, Nipadona, and Tangia, TV. Now, you say, oh, but natural paper, paper or radio stations, you know. Oh, but natural Samayakayana.
I'm just some Cassia Pan Webisano, Yate.
Because we are wrong. Michael, yes, and that near or five right guys, yes, brigade or be a factory cashier, or Muya and Mua, a Kunipa Humano. And then the generation, you to know, who do you go to say, almost relative, then yes, no Muchibino. Oh, my dear, go home. And you never say, yes, sir. You can't have a person now for people to put up money of Israel. Now, oh, Benya scholarship, no, but Abba, radio, TV, popular TV, proper radio station. No more educating the nation, every say. The future, no, say. She has secretary of Israel dead to say, me to me, me are Danny, me papa, me, I me father call Ada. And yamu, me, and your of Israel, and can never teach you, come in, says, I think it in the
that's
no Munya scholarship, and my public now. The public TV station is not among what it is.
Yes, that's a say with me, afraid. Na Odo Diaba. We say good afternoon. I say good afternoon, my learned and enlightened teachers. From the last episode, we heard how believers will be forced to accept the mark of the beast. Now, if you take this mark, God will punish you. Jerry, when she not bad. But our friend for our first him, share Wake Up Africa, Jumedi.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairman.
Yeah, from Albert, make a sister have to wait in.
Ejayanko.
Me pacho me bomo abaso na mujuma kia.
Okay.
Say na follow mo program no na reality on the ground me say Africa financially ye weak. And obo my Ghana nso a ye weakest. Adenti America na sa banso nyango pom boy no anko the resources they bring from ye. I bet me amaya enhance your financial position. Our world market. Ya say ye niema nyina this ye nimpa ye man penimfu nim e say ye nkwaje bosia. Bosia no so ye kwaje no. Ye kwaje a conditionality say woman say ye ba be vaccine hospital e dia mam. Enti Ebola hospital na Ghana yaje. Say Nigeria COVID-19 hospital vaccine na no so yaje. Enti ye de ho awurawura mamu ya mo ye bra ni yenti no amase se nkrofo no kura ye kon achi e no mu control ye. Enti ye je ho badia enti na de mo kan no ye pew ye mpew they say na bill boss na asha sia ye mountain wo Ghana wo ne yempani mfo no bosia no nti no omu ni adwene abrofo na ase omu nyina adwene omu mmea ye ne ye ho kire ye sesia pe ye ho de ye nye no wiase nti sa where the economic follow we say onim se wiase nyina omu na ebu amanya omu ho kire omu wosikase mu as say Ghana so ye ka ho enti omu nhihye no de ye den yo ye to ye bedia to
yeah that's baby yes that's it. God bless you all for your nice message. We really appreciate your show. Thanks you all. This is OJ Agunano Asano Sanso the Abba BM. I say message radio. I say good afternoon. Wafa. I'm so I mean can we na me on next call and can we na mean come on send the next call about your wake up Africa Jumedi.
Yeah. Afternoon.
Afternoon Penny Kessie.
Oh, every Yamin Shiramo Papa. Did you more fire at Chimasene or then or that?
Okay.
Eh, Ura, Zan Kuma, or ne of fire Pukudanka. Omo, eh, Difwa, ye pension about, but you won. That any some could jina, a sorry, dear man almost senkom. The almost someone can of fire Pukudanka in that come way by 5 years ago. Or can't you a Bible Genesis? Or say, Russia and that Egypt and Israel and you can create. Now the Bible so that to watch as a brave who yes to Christ. That is far from an Aguko Israel. That I'm not a problem in that. Let's just have Brofuno. Only be the top of the other man. I mean, someone last week or can I call him? But you say, the Lipa, a Brofun, the I'm a boy from the superhuman, but I am pa. And some more harm to Jadron and Obana, Obana in the Dallas Road. And so make you may go for just say and Jabaka can you pay. I think about some extra then don't make it. Friend is saying robots and you call one more bonus from the baby deviants. So one radio station here and some offer Pokudan Kabo Camo. They catch it all say and you do that by no woman almost take almost sacred my game in ya. Yamisha also. What's it? Good afternoon. Please, I have taken the COVID-19 vaccine. What should I do? Am I dying now? I'm even afraid of this world. Please, you people should help me. And I say, I'm saying, message here. I'm saying, a friend for us, I'm facing being patrol. The faith in wake up Africa. Hello. Hello.
Mike,
you see what I say.
Okay, Yankwe.
Mike, I can't bring my friend. I can't show there. Ebi before you empty this
no.
Never care the master. But Mike, so money be ye them or for people down corner or for Israel work cana. Give me a leader oba and I can to me for Nankasano. Never got to me there. Be a woman in your baby. Mike, I have your club of way to bend too much. But Jim Breno and a profound but Jim Breno. She most was a show on them. And the above not that damn Yensu, that's saying. Yendia, you go. And the Pada Yamada in a chair, what can you go? because I don't often shika. Nanchama yakaji the anode oyankake. You leader opa, and you never answer me when you have to day. You show by send you do said young to the honey from Sheba. Michael, Mary, and Yabeko. Why? Because what's the way them for the end of all? This is go find what to wash off. Because we took 486 years. No, they cut your mind, slave your mind. 486 years, no, they slave your mind. You know. On top of you, when you're easy. But in the other one, Pedro, for people don't go, you never found do. No more come over ya, was sent a book behind you. Never say ever found.
So I want to ask those we have robot, half human. What are they going to feed on? I'm Francis. Thank you, God bless you. Also, Mr. says I have robot, half human. And I better mom. Wake up Africa. Repeat. Over Israel, and so at the Nidia Basasana or fire Pukudanqua, and then also then establish number, and then the other burning around a farm, who don't say more LGBT4 and Kobiasiano, Yadiania Mania Becomo. So Sasana Israel at the head dive true into the COVID and other things what is coming out from the World Economic Forum team, no, and also and all my who the air course when they do changing any videos or the supporting in Iran say, and then media field and I said media fraternity no NTBiano robot ever be take in section now here juma. And we somebody wait on the 4th to 6th of January 2024 the Zion ladies no divine Zion ladies no Mbeko Kumasi akwa program start time no 4th to 6th of January 2024 Zion ladies no mbako program no ewo kai say me the ebe 25th of November Israel nkuma ene ni penny ba ko be di na chi ba Kumasi ewo asem school aho na program no ebe koso really ene ni pennyfo eno na omo gi no kwan so fe na bibia nti emem ni de ya no ka se oso betumi akọ na wa akwatie Israel ebia de ende kan ekran do ebe sensa ebia de ode ba no po ebe sensa ka se book ni so upedi ato a ede no ma no atudwa Senator Yabenye Biato 0244 888 910 and 0504643052.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
That's a way choose A&A Travel and Tours. BBBF for quaint to Hubiano. Yet me yet the mao. Yen services nibine visa service, passport service, opesa tour tickets, travel consulting, safari services. Nina yebi say about you visa pay and I say immigration issues. Why I am fa. Enye yenya na yebeti mi abuawo. Yepe mau travel advice papa. Ebe buawo. Na kai say IELTS exams any classes no dear. Very easy with us. Intra weni nhwe baby a. Inti fraying was 0534 094 222 and 0592 537 519. Uhwehwe ye chira kwan a ye wo Achimota ye be Melcom ho a e wa Accra ha. Na Kumasi nso ye wo ahodwo A&A Travel and Tours.
My talent and what did you say? I am born to shine. Mochiami, the Odi Jumadi Mochiami, your friend is Sofu Budu.